Hello and welcome to Chicago Reacts. My name is Kelsey. I'm a voice actor in Chicago, and today I will be reacting to Space Station 13 review, AHELP, Clown Grief, Please Ban He, trademark, by SsethTzeentach. And this was suggested for me specifically by SsethTzeentach. Thank you so much. I am flattered and also so excited to watch another SsethTzeentach video.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be covering a very niche, very infamous, and very autistic game that everyone's asked me to cover since day one. A game where you and many other real, living people with questionable social intelligence roleplay together on the worst space station in the universe, where aliens, shapeshifters, and traitors working for rival corporations are the least of your concern, where the greatest threat to your own existence are your own crew members. Hungry? Come to the station canteen, where the food is definitely poisoned. Injured? Head on down to medical, where half the medication has been relabeled as happy pills. Discouraged? You can try taking a painkiller instead, but it wasn't a painkiller, it was LSD. Having a bad trip? Don't worry, there's a security officer nearby to help, but he can't respond because he was murdered and replaced by a genetically modified monkey wearing his uniform. Hallucinating? Keep calm and focus on what's real. Unfortunately for you, the supermassive black hole expanding towards you is not a hallucination. It is, in fact, very real.
The emergency shuttle has been called.
Welcome to Space Station 13.
I think the emergency
is a very simple premise.
Shuttle is going to just fall back into the black hole.
Do your best to delay the station's inevitable destruction, either at the hands of antagonists or at the hands of your own incompetent crew. Normally, I give a final score for a game at the end of a video. Not this time. Space Station 13, 10 out of 10, amazing, spectacular, don't play it. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, Space Station 13 is a fantastic game, but I genuinely don't recommend you play it. Why? Because the engine it's running on is probably older than you, because the interface is a convoluted mess, and only usable because me and every other autistic chimpanzee who plays this game has committed the hotkeys to muscle memory because of the insane time investment and commitment required for you to learn a single role, and because, to be perfectly honest, the servers can't handle all of you. At best, we can handle like 30 extra players before you grind the servers to a halt. For all these reasons, Space Station 13 always was and always will be a niche title. And
I love the concept of old servers, or old-ish, I don't know how old this game is, but old servers that are still up and that people still go to. I think that's just so entertaining.
maybe that's for the best, but I can offer you something else. I've already killed your hopes and dreams of playing the game, so instead, let me share some stories of my wonderful experience with Space Station 13.
I'm so ready.
These stories span several years and several different servers, the names of which will forever stay anonymous because I respect their privacy, and because I've received threats from some of the more colorful servers to not mention them by name, or else. What's gonna happen if I don't comply? Are they gonna hire a Bitcoin assassin to run me over with his mobility scooter? Is he gonna stab me with his insulin pen? I don't know. But between you and me, I hate having cum delivered to my mailbox and would prefer to keep it that way. Anyway, I remember the first time playing Space Station very vividly. My friends told me to download it and hop on some shitty server. It had furries and erotic roleplay. More on that later. I
in that game?
As an assistant. My job to
doesn't
give
seem very
assistance
conducive.
and to get my hands burnt off trying to hack into places I don't have access to. As I'm screwing around with airlock wires, my friend comes running down the hallway, dragging someone's unconscious body. Frantically, he tells me, "Seth, quick, can you open this door?" Sensing the urgency in his voice, I do. He throws the body inside and sprints away. The airlock closes. 3 seconds later, something explodes. What the fuck was that? I ask.
A ghost?
Yeah, I fed him potassium and water pills. It takes a while to metabolize. My friend had just murdered a man in cold blood by turning his body into a living, ticking potassium bomb. As soon as the man's digestive juices cracked through the...
Why are there so many options? I'm not complaining. It is very entertaining. Just Who would ever think to put all these options for things in this game?
Potassium tablet, it reacted violently with the water in his stomach and exploded, killing him from inside out. After such a horrific display of homicide, I realized, hey, this game's pretty good. Fast forward a few weeks and I'm learning roles, calling shots, and ignoring every single rule of the server. I also ignored every single rule of medicine. I was a surgeon top of my class, destined to go where no licensed professional ever has. Also, my friend's girlfriend started playing with us. To put it bluntly, she wasn't very good, but she was very interested in progressing the medical field in any way possible.
Those pizzas.
Cargo had just delivered us some complimentary pizza, as thanks for patching up their boys after they got a little too intimate with the xenomorphs on mining station. Brilliance flashed before my eyes.
Wow.
My pupils widened. I started physically sweating, because she said the words I've always dreamt of hearing. Please, turn me into a pizza. And so, I got to work. Nurse, get me my scalpel.
I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting. Please turn me into a pizza.
Tweezers, protractor, bone gel, and the rest of the unfinished pizza. One horrified clown watched in the operating theater as I cleanly hacked off and cauterized her hands and feet. I opened the pizza box and began attaching her new cheesy limbs. Sec to surgery, the clown blurted out. He's turning her into a Papa John's. The head of medical stormed in with a host of security officers to detain me, but they...
A Papa John's, no!
Were too late. Her hands
Pagliacci,
and feet had already
anal
been
clown.
replaced. Surprisingly, she could walk just fine on a pair of pizza feet, but her lack of opposable pizza thumbs meant that she couldn't really hold anything, let alone pick them up in the first place. However, her pizza hands did make for a convenient and portable source of nutrition. Despite her numerous protests that she consented to the surgery, the head of medical demoted me on the spot and banned me from ever practicing medicine, claiming that you can't consent to being a pizza. I was...
She did consent. She wanted to be a pizza.
Thrown in jail for the rest of the
Let
round.
the woman
Clearly,
be a
there was
pizza
no
if she wants to be a
appreciation
pizza.
for the arts on this station. So, many rounds later, me and my friends found a new purpose, cleaning up the server, one erotic, furry roleplay at a time. Using telecommunications and meta-communications, I expertly pinpointed areas of high homosexual intent, namely, the dorm rooms and the showers. As two Khajiit-looking catmen meet privately with one another, they will inevitably start writing words such as, ooh, Mayak has a barbed prickly surprise for you, my friend. And, yes, not me with your thick Tajaran trunk. This is completely unacceptable. Once an act of high homosexual intent is in motion, several of our men would mobilize. As they groan, moan, and spit out hairballs on each other, a security officer would barge in, flashbang.
Why choose, if you're gonna do saucy roleplay online, why choose this game? I'm sure you've got other options. Why this game? Especially if they're all, the rest of the people are like, we're just trying to play a game, guys. Like, you can go somewhere else.
The feline fornicators and tag team baton them into submission before another officer handcuffs them to the bed. On the other side of a contaminated dorm room,
that background looks really nice.
Atmospheric technician sets explosive C4 charges against the station glass. Quickly, we evacuate the biohazard exclusion zone and seal the airlocks. Romeo and Juliet barely have enough time to recover from the flashbang before the charges detonate.
Oh no!
The room and sucking their bodies out into the black vacuum of space. Another job well done. Many explosive decompressions later, erotic roleplay was considered a real occupational hazard. The Tajaran cat boys got creative, started doing group sessions instead, but these were quickly crushed by my friend playing the
They
best
made their own
I've
commune in the space station. Also, they have mechs? What's going on?
To prevent interruptions. So, he drilled right through them with a gigantic combat mech. The air inside was heavy with a sickly sweet smell of wet fur balls and toxoplasmosis. The furries didn't even have time to react before he started unloading shell after shell of flashbang grenades. And thus,
that law textbook in the middle of the ground?
The price. But to see half a server get flashbanged unconscious for 10 minutes straight, priceless. The server didn't last long anyway.
Oh,
the
jeez.
admin's mom shut it down as soon as she saw the electricity bill, so me and my friends went on to enrich other servers. I even got good at being a chemist. In other words, I always stole the syringe gun at the start of a round and filled it with lethal doses of chloral hydrate for my own protection, of course.
There's literally
I also gave whatever chemical anyone requested, which gives me some moral ambiguity and 2 degrees of separation from any pranks or murders that took place as a result of said chemicals. If a clown asks for space lube, he's gonna get space lube. One time, a clown managed to lube the entire hallway outside of medical, all the way to departures. Now, departures is usually the place where the escape shuttle docks to get us out of our quickly burning heap of a station. However, if there's no call for a shuttle, departures is completely empty, besides the airlock, which the clown had hacked open. Several people came running through medical, slipped on...
I don't find clowns funny. That's a funny clown.
The space loop and accelerated themselves face first into the infinite vacuum of space.
Yeeted into space.
Figured out it was the clown, and in true security fashion, also slipped on the space loop, with most of the crew floating around dead in space.
I like that they go head first.
He was later banned from playing clown ever again. Several rounds later, I finally spawned as a traitor.
Mission specifications decrypted. Welcome to the Syndicate.
And I had no idea what I was doing, but I wanted my first time to be special. Conveniently, an assistant comes in, bleeding all over, because he was probably trying to break into the armory without insulated gloves. His character sprite had maximum melanin and an afro. His roleplay friendly name was
the red.
An idiot, but a useful idiot. There were
no
medical staff on hand except me, so I said, hey, I know a little bit of surgery. Let me fix you up. I put him under general anesthetic and took out my syndicate PDA. With this, I can discreetly teleport a few traitor items into my inventory to help me achieve my objective, which in this case was murdering the head of security. I ordered 2 sets of voice-activated explosives, which trigger upon hearing the recorded code phrase. I set this to the word most likely to be spoken by this mentally retarded human being. Can you guess what that is? I surgically opened his ass and inserted the first of the explosives. Then I lodged the second one neatly inside his chest cavity, closing them up. You can
specifically put stuff in people's
and
groin.
Began to put my plan in action. I would arm this simple-minded moron with illegal weaponry, with the hopes that security would detain him on possession charges. I gave him all the LSD, all the chloral hydrate syringes, and an entire spray bottle of space lube. I had expertly equipped him to be the ultimate griefing machine. Proud of my work, I gave him a hug and set him loose on the world. But just before he left medical, he turned around and said, "Thanks, nigger."
Honestly.
And we both exploded. My other times playing antagonist went about just as well. Once I started as the leader of a cult. Our objective was to seize control of the station and sacrifice our mortal bodies to summon a physical manifestation of our dark god.
What is
However,
that?
I wasn't very good at it, and neither were my servants. We found a nice, quiet, and most important...
Half of these, like, the sprite art, like... I feel like every second little sprite, I'm like, I've never, like, I feel like I haven't seen that yet in this video. There are so many, the items, there are just so many options. I see why he's like, oh, please don't play this game. Please don't play this game. Because it seems like a lot of work just to be able to, like, comprehend everything.
Abandoned bar near the north end of the station, which we began redecorating with our own blood. You see, cultists need to learn a set of ancient words that's randomly generated every round. If you arrange them in the right order, you can perform different spells and rituals to advance your goals. We didn't get far, because the most dangerous thing to an incompetent cult is a single crew member doing their job. The fucking janitor found us. We tried to negotiate.
Okay, what is
actually crayon and not blood all over the floor, but that didn't work, so we tried to murder him instead. That didn't work either. He used his mop to slip us with soapy water and ran off to call security. As you can see, I'm not very proficient at being a traitor. More often, I find myself being abused by traitors. Some of the worst offenders in this regard are definitely wizards.
So this is truly Among Us beta version.
Since wizards
Not literally,
have a bad
but
tendency to sexually abuse me as well. Not too long ago, me and my friends played a round that was already in progress. As soon as we entered, we realized something was very wrong. An announcement played on the radio. Penis Inspection Day is in effect. All crew members must report to Doc Johnson for their mandatory penis inspection. Doc Johnson was very clearly a wizard. I knew what was coming.
A wizard!
Yet I resigned myself to fate and went to medical reception. Doc Johnson was overjoyed to have new patients. He led me to a private room, asked me if I'm circumcised, and told me that I passed the inspection with flying colors. What a surprise, I thought. He's not actually gonna grief me. But I was wrong. As I turned away to leave, he blew off my ass magically. Hey, it's wizardry. I ain't gotta explain shit. Anyway, Doc Johnson is a terrible doctor. He left me bleeding on the floor as he took my ass cheeks and used them as a hat. Highly unprofessional. Would not recommend. A round of Space Station 13 can be very intense. At other times, it can...
Also, I keep going back to the options, but I cannot believe how complex and weird this game is. Like, I wonder if it was all created with the concept that, the game is going to be like this. It's going to be crazy intricate, and you're kind of going to be able to do whatever you want. Or if they just kept adding stuff along the way. Because this is wild.
Can be very slow-paced and almost relaxing. If you're
it's like a
not
grocery
a traitor
bag in the
don't
corner.
Have anything
Unknown
to
throwed
handle,
up.
You can always
Throwed?
just roleplay and
Who
get
am I?
comfy in a bar, while the piano plays anime songs and the jukebox plays whatever deep-fried ASMR bullshit people keep putting on. It's a very wholesome experience, and it helps you get emotionally invested with the other members of your crew, which are often nice people. However, security is often staffed by egotistical megalomaniacs acting out their most depraved power fantasies. They are often not nice people. As a result of their inherent propensity to be insane sociopaths, the rest of the crew will often rebel against their tyranny. In one such case, Cargo had declared independence. Security refused to recognize the independent station state of Cargonia, so they tried to barge their way in and arrest everyone involved, including me. But security was unprepared for the trap we had in store. One officer rushed into cargo bay and slipped on a banana peel straight into the conveyor belt waiting for him. He tried repeatedly to get back up, only to be tripped again by an ocean of banana peels on the conveyor belt, which looped around in a circle. Surrounding that circle was another circle, composed entirely of vending machines. The officer was also being brutally assaulted by several hundred cans of soda. The vending machines were hacked, and as a result, they would continuously fire drinks at whoever is in the area. Each officer that slipped into the banana belt got smashed unconscious by a relentless stream of discount Dan soda. Trademark, all rights reserved. After extensive head trauma by our soda turrets, security reluctantly accepted Cargonia's independence and their right to bear arms. If there's one department that has more revolutions than Cargo, it would have to be science, and it's easy to understand why. We spend our lives researching away for the good of the station, which does of course carry its own share of risks and hazards. Sometimes accidents happen. Sooner or later, some bored and mentally challenged assistant will try and put a bag of holding into another bag of holding, and security can't always comprehend that we're not directly responsible for the resulting black hole eating through the kitchen.
That's good. That's a very funny outcome.
Profession usually ends with arrest warrants for the whole department, which is usually answered back with the words, "I'd like to see you try."
Take no responsibility for the singularity in the kitchen.
But when we're not having a nuclear arms race with security, R&D is actually quite a chill department. I also made a great discovery last time I played there. Me and another scientist were messing around with blueprints and eventually made ourselves a pneumatic cannon. Normally, these are used to launch whatever items you have inside. What we didn't know was that it could launch food as well. I loaded a lasagna, aimed for the mouth, and fired it at my fellow researcher. The lasagna disappeared. What the hell? That's amazing, he said. We just realized what happened. I had just managed to remotely force feed my fellow man. But what do we do with this forbidden knowledge? Nothing good, that's for sure. My comrade got to work asking chemistry for hallucinogenic drugs. They said no. So we built our own chemistry dispensers, filled up the beakers with happy juice, and ran straight to the kitchen. We injected all the donuts and hot pockets we could find with as much LSD and mind-breaker toxin as they could hold. Then we loaded them into our food delivery system and started firing off at everyone in the hallways. The food was instantly delivered. The crew was instantly satisfied. Several people, including security officers, managed to see the 2 small lines of text indicating that they've just been fed something. They thought it was extremely clever and said they didn't know the pneumatic cannon could do that. Since it was just a bit of harmless fun, we got off scot-free. Minutes later, the hallucination started. Crew members started screaming on the radio. Some were puking, shaking, or convulsing on the ground. Medical couldn't keep up with the bodies. They piled on too quick, and most of the doctors were too busy fighting off non-existent entities to do anything about it. The chemist, who originally refused...
All right, if anyone out there has played this game, I need to know, when your character is hallucinating, does everybody else see your hallucinations, or is it only you? Because how fun would that be if it were only you? Again, another very fun, clever thing.
Refused to give us LSD, was arrested by security on suspicion of intentional food
drag
poisoning.
the bodies.
It was complete pandemonium, and I think it illustrates perfectly the chaos that is Space Station 13.
Jeez. Oh, everyone's like, oh, there it goes. There goes the station. There it goes.
That's all I have for you today, folks. There is, of course, more stories to tell, but we'd literally be here for hours. Space Station 13,
I'm sure.
A marvelous, unique, and incredibly shitty game. 10 out of 10, don't play it. Because if you do, they're gonna blame it on me. And I hate having cum in my mailbox. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. On other news, I started a Subscribestar account, so if you'd like to invest and don't want to give your money to Patreon, now you can. A warm thanks to the many members of Merchants Guild.
Oh, wow. Wow. That was, oh man. How does Seth always find these weird, obscure games that are crazy complicated for no reason? Seth, thank you for your work. And SsethTzeentach, thank you so much for suggesting that very fun video. I enjoyed it a lot, if you couldn't tell. Well, thank you all so much for watching. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for more content just like this, and we will see you next time.